What up? We're live. Day 11. I think it's day 11. Day 10, day 11, whatever it is. We back. We're live, in effect. Yesterday, didn't watch much AI stuff. Today, might be a little bit of the same. If you guys follow all my socials, I'm talking about AI all the time. So, giving a little variety here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Let's, I have not been up to date with the news as of late. So let's just take a gander at what's going on here. Let's see what they have to say about that. Why Los Angeles protesters fly the Mexican flag, demonstrating the long tradition of hoisting the red, white, and green flag during times of anti-immigrant sentiment. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what it is. You're in our country. Why do you want to be in our country? Why do you want to stay in our country? Yet you wave your country's flag with pride. If you have that much pride for your country, shouldn't you go live in your country? Like, case in point, National Headline Review calling the Mexican flag the Confederate banner of the LA riots. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Why not the American flag? Why the Mexican flag? Straight up. It's that simple. Protesters. 30 years ago? So this happened 30 years ago? Let's see. Where is it? Where are the... Let's see. Pete Wilson proposed Washington and birthright citizenship. Yeah, why wouldn't they? Why do they get to live off of our tax dollars? They broke the law. They're not a part of the country. So many immigrants come over here for higher wages, keep their family back in their home country, and then send all the money they make, convert it into their home currency, or they keep it in their currency, in the U.S. currency, and provide it back to them. How is that helping us? It's taking, not giving. And you can make the argument, well, they're giving the labor, they deserve the work. A lot of times the labor is under the table, and the reason it's under the table is because there's a lot of bad business owners out there, and a lot of unethical business owners out there. Yeah, why wouldn't they want to save their state? That's exactly right. This Pete Wilson guy sounded like he was pretty based. And this has been a battle going on for years, so you need to think about that. Look at that. Why? Why? This happened more than 20 years ago. Flying the Mexican flag. You raise up your flag over conquered land. Do people not realize that? When we fly our flags in other countries, specifically the United States, is because we have a military base there. It's because we are helping protect their land, or we have conquered their land, however you want to look at it. But it's because we have military occupation there. We put up the flag so people know who it is over there. And also, when you wave a flag, you do it out of a sense of pride. I have nothing wrong with people being prideful from where they're from. I think that is a very natural thing to do because we have typically bloodline there, a long history there, typically. Makes total sense to me. However, if you want to renounce your citizenship or get citizenship to our country, at that point, while in our country, you be prideful that you're in our country and you respect our country. I don't think that that's too much to ask for. Pretty much every other nation does this. So that's crazy. This has been going on for a minute. And I think what we're going to see is a big reverse. Let's see. See, like, this is silly. This is what the Democrats do as well. The Democrats straight up have these illegals come in and they have them vote. So do the Republicans, though. The Republicans were even tempted by that. They probably already are doing so. They certainly use them in the business sense and or hire, people from a variety of countries to come work in their business. There's a lot of issues around all this stuff. And to act like they're simply doing it for survival reasons is silly. Or they're doing it for just solely a sense of pride. Like, no, like there's so much contempt for our country these days. And if you want to look at every other country with your rose-tinted glasses, you're going to be filled with contempt everywhere you look. There's no perfect country. People want to point to these socialist countries, oh my goodness, the Nordic countries. First off, good luck if you're anybody with a darker shade of complexion living there, finding love there. Somebody who isn't them, even not just a darker complexion, somebody like myself, somebody even like my wife. Like, it would be much more difficult for you to be accepted into their culture. You go to Japan. Okay, same thing. You go to China. Same thing. Russia. Same thing. Italy. Spain. These places are Italian, Spanish, English, Russian, Chinese. They take a great sense of pride in that. Whether you want to get into the deeper conversation as to which the nations themselves, the name Russia is actually a real thing. I'm not saying that it necessarily is. It's more of a elaborate social construct, but what is real inside of that nation, Russia, is a bloodline that comes from that region. That is real. And then that gets tied to, and obviously, we associate these things, come up with words for these things. So a nation and its people are real, but the nation name itself is not real. The land mass can obviously increase and decrease over time. It can It can be totally relocated and uprooted, but the people remain the same. Look at Jewish people. Jewish people have, been, I don't know what words I can use, but the historical recalling of the Jewish people from the Bible all the way up into modern time is, a lot of difficulty finding a homeland, but they always identified with the Jewish people because it goes beyond the name Israel. It's their bloodline, right? Puerto Ricans, same thing, like so many races. So nations are real. A bloodline. And this whole idea that you can mix and match these cultures, like the United States actually isn't something. Like the United States is not respected for its bloodline or culture. Like there are true born Americans here that have been here since the founding of the country. I don't know if I'm one of those. I know that I'm like, I'm like 30% German. I'm like a couple other European mixtures, and then I got some Puerto Rican in me. Not even like direct it's like all the other Hispanic branches that make up the Puerto Rican. So it could be true though that I'm told like my ancestors have been here forever. I definitely in Puerto Rico, right? Like Puerto Rico, but then the Puerto Ricans, like we just talked about, can come from, kind of other places. Anyway, there's a true American bloodline, and we don't respect that at all. We don't. Why? I don't know. I do know, actually. It's because, we are trying to destroy the most powerful country from within. That's the only way to destroy it right now. We're too strong externally to really be taken on. But if you're internal, why do you think that there's so many Chinese spies in our universities? I'll tell you a little story. I went to Case Western University. One of the semesters I took, well, rather a semester specifically, I took a class on, granted, I'm just now thinking about this, but it's still kind of funny. Granted, it was on Chinese history. You can see why I'm laughing in a second. And I swear to you, there were so many in the classroom. It was like me and like 3 other white people. It's wild. It was wild. And anyway, we got to talking, and I called China very communist in front of all these, people from the East Land. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if like TikTok is going to, YouTube is going to call this racist. I'm not being racist. I'm just, anyway. There were so many. And some of them like push back saying they don't have a capitalist system. I was like, what are you talking about? Anyway, there were so many there. And I saw so many all the time. This is like a top university in Ohio. And I knew about this then because there was this Confucius Institute that had been funding a lot of these Chinese educational things, right? Like inside these universities. And yeah, like I found out, I think it was Ted Cruz or somebody back in like 2017, somewhere around there, 2016, was talking about this. So like this is an old problem that's just now getting a lot of attention and it's 10 years old. But anyway, so you have, we have the spies. We have the people at the South who want to reclaim their land. The Chinese don't come over here waving their flags. You crazy? They know what's up. They also know what's at stake. So Indian people, I mean, I don't really see that either. So anyway, let's quit. Let's keep on what the Mexican flag means to protesters. Okay, let's see what you got to say. It's very sort of a strong sentiment that's like, we produce your culture or food, but for some people, it's a sense of discrimination against Mexican people. And every nation prefers its national, like there's a natural preference towards the bloodlines that are from your nation that make up that nation. To outsiders, why can't we have that? Why is it a bad thing that we can't, what yeah, why is it a bad thing? Like Japan, same vibe. These other countries I've already listed, there's the same vibe. You even go to Hawaii, they don't want Americans in Hawaii. They don't want white people in Hawaii. A lot of them don't. Now, a lot of them do. But those are the perfect environments to create not civil war, but civil conflict, civil disorder, which can then become civil war. But you just don't get a civil war. You start off with like some sort of like small civil tension that metastasizes and develops into something that could be horrible. You create the breeding grounds for this stuff. See, this is the big thing. 30% of people, of the population, is people of Mexican descent. 12 million individuals who live here. We're proudly a multi-generational community. That means we have recent arrivals as well as people who are immigrants who have been here for many years. And then the majority of the people actually are second, third, fourth generation Mexican Americans. There's a lot of pride and deep roots in the region. Fair. Have a lot of pride. Have a lot of deep roots. But if you've been here for like, what is a generation? Like 20 years? So you've been here for like 80 years? Then why don't you train up those succeeding generations to love America? And if you don't love America, why stay here? Nobody's forcing you to stay here either. See, I think what it really is that there's a history that is passed on about this land, specifically in those regions, inside those communities, that kind of aggressive and antagonistic to the United States American citizens, the Americans. Likewise, blacks, same thing. There's a history given to them which is more mainstream than what we hear about the Mexicans. But there's a history told to them that makes them hate this country, and that they are under constant oppression to not every, but Hispanics, the black, like there's a lot of this. My family has it. The Puerto Ricans, the Puerto Ricans, when we came over here, a lot of that was by force. I think it was Operation Bootstrap, right? They came over. I think they took like sugar cane, or made sugar cane, whatever it may be. They ended up taking some Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico, making them go to New York City, or then having them go out to Hawaii, because the Hawaiians didn't want to do the work that the United States American military was attempting to. But, well, it wasn't even the United States at the time. I take that back. It was the British. It was the British, the French, the Russians, maybe one other group was in there. But that particular land was under siege either way. It was under foreign control. And that's because that's the way the world fucking works. Like, I don't know why it's so hard to understand that. And so these small islands would have been taken over by somebody else. They would have lost their independence regardless of what you think. Especially in a time of major expansion like was taking place in the 18 and 17 and 1600s. Like, people were hungry for exploration. A lot of the land wasn't discovered, and there were a ton of opportunities. The gold rush was in the land rush, right? So now we are experiencing that in the digital realm. Humans have a knack for wanting to go into new frontiers. You got people wanting to do it now with space, right? Like, there's this constant drive for humanity to expand, to create, to grow, to just keep pushing, keep spreading, right? And with that comes naturally tensions, conflicts, because there's different intentions behind it. Like, it's just not a monolith. Like, it's a monolith in the sense that this expansionist view, I think, is pretty natural. It's a natural factor in human life. This continuous life, this pushing forth life, that can come in varying degrees. But there are because it can just be as simple as you're a happy person if you have a wife, kids, husband, kids, whatever it may be, right? But you have children, and you were able to make children with someone. That's a very small way of doing so. But it's a big way as well. It's a huge way. It's like one of the best ways you can actually do it. It's not a small way. It's actually one of the biggest ways you can expand, your life force in this world. It is the most potent way. You're creating life with the help of God, which God, I guess, is creating the life. But anyway, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting conversation, but there's this drive to do so. It varies, but it's a true trait. There can be various degrees of it. Doesn't mean it's relative. There are more effective and efficient ways to do something, to utilize that energy. And there will be an optimal way to use that foundation, right, in the world. Our natures are damaged, You got one viewer here. Hopefully what I just said makes sense to you if you've been here a while. But yeah. So that's what's going on over here. Okay. We already know that's bad. Don't really care about this, to run again for DNC vice chair after new election is called. Everybody on their team is kind of boring, and they need to do better. They need to do better. If they're going to be pushing the type of propaganda they push, they need to bring in better people. Like, AOC was a decent one. But even that, most people get over. The reason most people like AOC is because she's personable. She's relatable to the younger women. She's pretty, right? So, like, she has that appeal to her in regards to attractiveness and media attention. So just that alone is, her being a face of the Democratic Party. But yeah, like, she's probably the most, and Gavin Newsom, kind of, but a lot of people don't like him anymore, right? But I don't know. I don't know really what the people in California think. I've only heard from the news. I've seen interviews. I've heard from bigger influencers what they think. Like, I think Joe Rogan said that he didn't want to have a conversation with the guy, and he was invited onto Gavin Newsom's podcast, which I haven't even listened to. We can check that out. Landmark crypto bill moves closer to passage in Senate. That sounds interesting. I need to get a high level view back into this so that way I can just get the political climate and then dive into the news. Because I know this is a big part of the political climate. Like, I think that's a healthy way of looking at things. Which parties should be worried about the politics? Let's see. I guess let's say political debate 2025. Oh yeah, I actually heard about the debates when I was in New York. I didn't listen. I just heard it being promoted. I guess let's see. All right, let me look into this guy. Okay, this guy is from Uganda. Yo. All right. All right, I'll be right back. Gotta go do something real quick. All right. Let's see. Okay. So he protested against this. This is wild. Why would anybody vote for that guy? What's his religion? Let me see something. Let me see something here. There we are.
Is that when you're the first Muslim elected official to ever run for mayor, People say some pretty wild things. For example, some folks on Twitter have convinced themselves that I'm hiding 2 secret children. I do not have any kids, much to my parents' disappointment. Or last
Yeah, that is a shame if you don't have any kids. What a waste.
Sunday, when we held our first major campaign rally and we gave out these cool new bandanas, one former city council candidate said these were in fact, get this, hijabs. Who can blame her? After all, everyone knows the most critical components of an Islamic state are hot dogs, a pigeon, and a Metro card. I guess everyone had different takeaways from our rally. Here's mine. The movement we're building is unprecedented, and thanks to you, on the verge of winning this race on June 24th. So come out to Canvas. Head to ZahranForNYC.com/
New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury.
Every politician says New York is the greatest city on the globe. But what good is that if no one can afford to live here? City Hall is engulfed in corruption.
Unscientific.
The cost of living is the real crisis. New Yorkers are being crushed by rent and childcare. The slowest buses in the nation are robbing us of our time and our sanity. Working people are being pushed out of the city they built. A mayor could change this, and that's why I'm running. I'll make buses fast and free.
So I can just get where I'm going.
I'll make childcare available to all New Yorkers at no cost.
I want to raise my kid in New York.
And I'll freeze the rent for every single rent-stabilized tenant.
These Eric Adams rent hikes are killing us.
Life in this city doesn't need to be this hard. But politicians like Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo want it to be this way. They care about their donors. They care about themselves. They don't care about you, the working class who keep this city running. This campaign is for every New Yorker who believes in the dignity of their neighbors. And the government's job is to actually make our lives better. We can afford to bring down the rent, have world-class public transit, and make it easier to raise a family. We can do all of that and so much more because this is New York. We can afford to dream.
That makes sense why he said he wouldn't go to Israel. All right. Let's go back here.
As the mayor, I'll be standing up for Jewish New Yorkers, and I'll be meeting them wherever they are across the 5 boroughs, whether that's in their synagogues and temples or at their homes or at the subway.
Defund the police. She's been against.
Let's some NYC Maryland
crime concerns from the subways to the streets, fears of deportation.
Developers that fund Andrew Cuomo's campaign, but the developers that
NYC.
The contenders are here tonight. Their positions on stage were chosen by random drawing. Few rules for the candidates. For traditional question and answer, you'll have 1 minute to respond. Asking some questions where we're looking for shorter answers. Ignore the rules, but of course we don't want to do that.
This is such a horrible way to do it. Like, you don't actually get the full take as to what the person is defending or what their position is. This is the other issue that I have with, this system we currently have in regards to elections and the frequency of it. Like, how can anybody keep up with all the politicians who are being elected throughout local, state, federal, right? And there's so many smaller elected positions as well. And then it happens every so often. And then you just have a bunch of uninformed people voting. But who could really be well informed unless they had dedicated their life to caring about politics?
You to hear each other, and for New Yorkers to hear everything you have to say.
To have you. We're going to begin tonight with the issue cost of everything, and we'll get to your plans on that a little bit later in housing. The cost of everything is squeezing residents in our city. New housing can take years to build, and we'll get to your plans on that a little bit later in the debate. But right now, we're interested in how you would help residents immediately. So what's your one big idea to make the city more affordable now, and how will you pay for it? We'll begin with you, Ms. Adams.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me this evening. You know, I'm actually the only candidate on this stage who is actually doing the work already. We have a housing plan already. I have built and delivered 120,000 new units of housing. And now with the new proposal that we have in front of us, we have over 80,000 new units of housing that will be coming up and will be affordable to the people of the city of New York. New York is not affordable. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and I want my children to stay here, just like real New Yorkers want their children to stay here.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. I should remind everyone, this is a 30-second answer. We'll go to you next, Mr. Lamb.
This is so wild. Like, how can you make a decision off of that answer?
Thank you, Melissa. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Lander. I'm the New York City Controller. I'm a lifelong affordable housing activist, and I'm a proud Brooklyn dad. Tonight, I'll show you that I'm the only one in this race with the progressive values to make this city more affordable, with the public integrity to sweep away the corruption.
Dude, all of these are just platitudes.
Of Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo, and with the proven management experience, having already delivered over 50,000 affordable homes to actually deliver on my promises. I'll get 500,000 homes built over the next.
But how are those affordable homes doing? How are they doing? Who lives in them? Who are you housing?
10 years.
Okay, we're going to move on to Ms. Ramos. I want to remind everyone the question is, what is your one big idea to make the city more affordable now, and how will you pay for it? 30 seconds, Ms. Ramos.
Thank you, Melissa. Good evening. Buenas noches to everyone watching.
Nope. Already out.
Watching at home. Thank you so much for holding this forum. Affordability has been top of mind for New Yorkers since before the pandemic, but the pandemic only exacerbated the conditions for New Yorkers. This is why I set out as chair of the Labor Committee in the New York State Senate to raise the minimum wage, to tie it to inflation, and I'm proud to be the last person to have done that. I'm the only person on this stage tonight who has already had a desk at the mayor's office. And
who cares?
This is why I know that the first thing I want to do on day one is enact a mental health emergency so that we can keep our streets safe.
Okay.
Oh my God. What the fuck does she mean by mental health emergency? You're going to go in and take the ridiculous violent people off the street and try to rehabilitate them and like put them in like a fucking psych ward or have them go to scheduled psychological evaluations and then have a session with a therapist. So,
okay, Ms. Ramos. Mr. Myrie, your big idea, I haven't heard many big ideas yet, so if you can answer the question, please, in 30 seconds. Your big idea to make the city more affordable now, and how will you pay for it?
Thank you, Melissa. I don't have one big idea. I have three. I want to deliver 1 million homes over the next 10 years. I want universal after school for every kid in this city from age 3 to grade.
Why do we need after school? Give me a second. I got to respond to a text here.
And I want to extend pre-K and 3K past 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. My parents came here 50 years ago.
That's disgusting. Why do you want these institutions to have your children longer? What good does it do if you put 1 million more homes in place and then you extend the after? Like, there's a big issue when you have to have a third-party institution take care of your children? Strangers. That's a big problem. For that long, there's something else broken there.
Go. Worked in factories to put food on the table, where union members sent me to public schools, and that's how I became a state senator and why I'm standing on this stage tonight. That same opportunity needs to be restored for so many New Yorkers, and that is why new leadership is needed, not the leaders of the past that caused the problem.
Thank you, Mr. Myrie. Mr. Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you WNBC and Telemundo for hosting today in Buenos noches.
What? Let me see something here. What? I'll just make sure I'm not missing something. Yeah, wow. This dude was the fucking governor of New York. See? Just wanted to make sure I remember that correctly. That's hilarious.
I'm running for mayor because I think the city is in real trouble.
But he governed the fucking state.
I think we have a management crisis.
He was at the top of the management. He was the one delegating responsibilities to management.
Between the Adams and Lander administration, I think
it was his system. He was the governor from 2007 or 2011 rather to 2021. But since 2007, he had been inside of the New York political system at a very influential level, that being the 64th Attorney General of New York from 2007 to 2010. Then he became governor from 2011 to 2021. So this guy has been in New York politics for almost a decade. And he is blaming the mismanagement, the brokenness of the system when he was at the top of the system and has been in the system. It has had to play those games within a broken system to rise to the point where he's at now. The fucking irony. Like, this is nuts.
we have a fiscal crisis where the city is actually spending more every year than it is taking in. And I think we have a societal crisis where we have division and hate. On affordability, raise the minimum wage, put more money in people's pocket.
But raising the minimum wage doesn't help most middle-class people. Or even working-class people. Most people don't make minimum wage that have a family. That are looking for housing. They're already well past the minimum wage part.
More child care, after school care.
Why do you need more child care? Take care of your own damn kids. And now you may say, oh, but I gotta work. I gotta go have my, some me time. I need to be able to handle things outside of the home for whatever various reason. Okay. The working is the most valid reason I could see. Everything else is an excuse. Straight up. For not wanting to watch your children. I have children. There have been a ton of times where my wife and I would go months on end without having a date because we couldn't have anybody watch our children because we weren't going to let a stranger watch it, and we were, too far away from family to have them watch them. So that was okay. That was fine. Like, why do you want to be away from your children so bad anyway? Why do you want to be away from your family so much anyway? Especially the family you made. Those should be the people you love the most and cherish the most.
Okay, Mr.
And then,
Cuomo.
of course, build affordable housing. I was the HUD secretary. I know how to do it.
Thank you. I'm turning it over to Rosarina.
Thank you, Melissa.
Tell my
Bienvenidos
wife
a
to
todos.
bring
Thank
me
you
up
so
some
much for being
food.
here tonight. We're going to ask the same question again, but please listen carefully. You have 30 seconds to answer. What is your one big idea to make the city more affordable now, and how will you pay for it? Again, 30 seconds, Mr. Chilson.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Now may take a couple of years, but I think we need to address the housing crisis. Most of the people on this stage have called to freeze the rent, but I want to go one better. I think we need to drop rents by 20% by unleashing the private sector to build a lot more housing. This isn't pie in the sky. New York did this 100 years ago. Austin has done it just in the past 3 years. So the key is...
All right, this guy, unfortunately, he's not going to win. He's not. But this dude has a better plan than all the other people so far.
Is to ease the zoning restrictions and all the other regulations that are tying
Thank you, Mr.
the private
Tilson.
sector.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mamdani.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. We are live here in the most expensive city in the United States of America. 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty.
See, this is why that other guy is not going to win. Did you see that? Masterclass right here. All right, you see the way he's answering the question? Let's go back, okay? Real quick. This is the way he answered the question.
Couple of years, but I think we need to address the housing crisis. Most of the people on this stage have called to freeze the rent, but I want to go one better. I think we need to drop rents by 20% by...
Most people are not going to even understand what the fuck he just said.
Unleashing the private sector to build a lot more housing.
By most people, I should say most people who are influenced enough to go out and vote without much information.
This isn't pie in the sky. New York did this 100 years ago. Austin has done it just in the past 3 years.
Too logical, too clear, not entertaining, not emotional, touchy-feely. He's just another white guy.
So the key is, though, is to ease the zoning restrictions and all the other regulations.
Everything he's saying, I'll say I like it. I mean, I don't see anything necessarily wrong. I get it. I'd like to hear more of his plan and how he wants to execute that. But for a pitch, at least he actually has a plan.
That are tying
Thank you, Mr.
private
Tilson.
sector.
Thank you.
And reasonings behind his plan. But this is why he won't win.
Very much, Mr.
Because it's
Mamdani.
about emotions.
Good
more
evening.
than
Thank
it
you
is
so much for
logic and
having me.
putting
We
public
are
voice.
live here in the most expensive city. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. We are live here in the most expensive city in the United States of America.
See, he's wasting his precious 30 seconds to begin this incredible emotional campaign on the audience. Not solution driven, narrative driven, that has an emotional pull.
America. 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. And I am running to be your next mayor to make this city affordable. I will.
Like what? He wasted like 10 seconds when he only has 30 seconds to explain his plan?
Do so by freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants, by making the slowest buses in the country fast and free, and by delivering universal childcare. And I will pay for this by taxing the 1%.
See? It's perfect manipulation. It's perfect persuasion. He's created this emotional pool, like giving these, you could say, oh, he gave stats. He said 1 in 4. Okay. Even the delivery of that is much better than 20% or 25%. People have a hard time quantifying percentages. They can much more easily do so if it's like in a fraction form or a ratio, whatever. So his delivery on the stat was even better, more emotional. His tone and voice, his inflections. He's a good communicator, a good persuader. He even has the tension, the conflict inside of his messaging. We're going to tax the 1%. That's how we're going to do this. We're going to tax the top 1%. You may think that that's a good idea, and I get why you would think that, because, if you just tax the 1%, they have so much money, comparatively to me, that it won't really hurt them the same way taxes hurt me. What they tend to leave out is that they're not just going to tax the rich, like they're going to keep taxing you as well. And the rich, yeah, there are ways that you can avoid being taxed for so much, but let's just say a billionaire is taxed at 10% of $1 billion. How much is that? Isn't that like 100 million? Let's see. Yeah, it's 100 million. That's $100 million I just paid into the government. You will never pay $100 million in taxes. Most people won't. Not even close. Not even your whole fucking family's bloodline will pay $100 million in taxes. Think about that. They have a lot of money and they pay a lot more than you do, even with their small percentage. It's disproportionately coming out of their wallets. And why would they want to fund a country that hates them, that paints them as bad? Why would they continuously want to do that? Why would they why would they make it so easy to take their money when it takes a lot of effort, skill? Even if you want to be manipulative, that guy's being fucking manipulative. This guy on the screen's being manipulative. And he's more than likely going to be the mayor of New York City. I haven't even seen the other candidates. Wouldn't surprise me if he wins. Just look at Patterson, New Jersey. It's crazy. We were just there. Crazy. Cool some areas, but then you start seeing like, man, huge population. Anyway. So saying tax the rich is such a silly thing to do. Because even if, like, let's say they tax the average middle class person at 90% every year, okay, 90% of their wages gone, they're paying, let's say they make $60,000 a year, they're taking home maybe, I don't know, six to 10 grand, something like that. They just paid in 50, most of their income gone. Billionaire pays even just 1%. They're paying more than that guy will make in his entire life. And you can say, well, no, it's about it being fair. We all need to be, they need to be taxed more because they can afford more. Well, they're already paying more in taxes than you or your family will more than likely ever pay for multiple generations. Probably ever, because they're going to keep paying that amount. Like Elon Musk paid billions of dollars in taxes. You will never pay billions of dollars of taxes.
The billionaires and the profitable corporations that Mr. Cuomo cares more about than working class New Yorkers.
See, and also now he's like throwing punches. He's being aggressive. This guy's going to win.
I will ask them to pay their fair share so we can have a city that everyone can afford.
Thank you so much for that, Mr.
What the fuck does fair share mean? It just sounds nice. There's no definition to fair share.
Can I jump in for one moment? Mr. Mamdani, how will you convince Albany to pass that tax increase? Because from what we've heard from Governor Hochul, it's not really something that she's thinking about doing. How can you guarantee that will happen?
So I have experience.
See, like, this guy's going to win. They're favoring him. They're favoring him. They're giving him more fucking airtime. Everybody only had 30 seconds. They said they would get into plans after. They didn't do that to anybody else. He's going to win.
This actually, because in my first year in the state operation,
With Mr. Blake now.
As a South Bronx native family of Jamaican immigrants, the way we actually address affordability is by ending credit scores and increasing income limits for housing applications and having universal childcare that is happening not just after school, but throughout the weekends. We pay for this by having a vacant apartment tax for those that are not living in New York City, by withholding taxes to DC that Trump tried to take against us, and making sure, as much as I love the Knicks, and I'm sorry they fired Tibbs, but they had to, you have to tax what's happening at Madison Square Garden. That is how you pay for it. That is how we have affordability.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Mr. Stringer.
I want to actually put forth a program that can get done for young families and for the people who built this city. And it's very simple. We need to use city-owned vacant land, 1,000 properties, and transform that land into affordable housing.
See, that actually makes sense more than let's build more buildings. How many buildings could you just fucking fix and renovate?
That property should go to not-for-profits, to limited profit developers, not the luxury developers that fund Andrew Cuomo's campaign, but the developers that can actually build the Mitchell-Lama 2.0 that we need. We owe it to the people who built this city and are now fleeing the city.
But he's not going to win either.
Because they can't afford to live here. And we need to welcome the next generation of New Yorkers who will be here if we give them hope and opportunity and affordability.
Thank you, Mr. Stringer.
Sally Golden.
Thank you. Now let's turn to President Trump, who looms large over the city, given his proposed funding cuts and his interest in hometown affairs. Democrats say they want a mayor who will stand up to him. Mr. Cuomo, you've branded the president a bully. Mr. Stringer, you called him a schmuck. And Mr. Lander, you put his name on a car and crushed it in a TV ad. But voters want to know how you will actually deal with the president if you are elected mayor. We have questions for each of you.
Why do we want division with our president? Why are we promoting that?
You'll all have 1 minute to answer. Mr. Cuomo, we'll start with you. You have experience collaborating and battling the president. Currently, his Justice Department is investigating you, following a criminal referral from Congress, alleging you lied during testimony about your
That is so great.
involvement in a report that undercounted nursing home deaths during COVID. With that probe underway, how do you ensure voters that you would not be compromised in your dealings with the president if you were elected mayor?
Yeah. Well, this is what Mr. Trump does, right? He started an investigation against me, against Kathy Hochul, against Senator Chuck Schumer, against Hillary Clinton. This is one of his tactics. I know how to deal with Donald Trump because I've dealt with him before.
That doesn't mean you know how to deal with somebody.
Many times, we've had many encounters. We fought on a daily basis through COVID, and I won many of those battles. I fought him on ice. This is not the first time he's brought ice to New York. He's done that before, and we fought him and we won. So he can be beaten, but he has to know that.
Why did I'm fucking done. See, I don't get why you promote that. It's a lot of money. All right, let's see something here. It really just, not that I even voted for Trump. I haven't voted for Trump in fucking ever. I haven't voted for him since 2016. But I don't get why you want to say, how are you going to battle our president? How are you going to fight him and keep him from doing anything in the country or doing anything in this part of the country? Like that, those are just, it's just creating so much tension. It doesn't help the division at all. It fuels it. It's very silly. And wrong, I think. It's not good for any of us. It may be good for them. So,
that Luigi Mangione shouldn't be able to unilaterally kill anybody. When you say that Luigi Mangione shouldn't be able to unilaterally kill anybody, people on the other side, I don't know if I agree with this, they'd say that Brian Thompson, the CEO, was making the decision to kill people with his healthcare company.
I mean, I think that Brian Thompson arguably should have been tried. Like, I think that, again, going back to due process, Brian Thompson was denied his right to due process. Do I think that he was, like, somewhat...
Was that guy even under fucking trial? Brian Thompson, CEO. Is that him, right? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, that's crazy. So I don't even know what the fuck she's talking about. Right to due process. Why the fuck is it on trial?
Hey, I'm Mr. Beats. I regularly listen to both Joe Rogan's
deciding to pick up a gun and shoot somebody.
And yet another example.
It's a shift that's happened throughout American society that went from the notion that men were acting like pigs and they should stop acting like pigs to what if everybody acted like pigs?
Here's a part of the episode where Rogan starts talking about regularly seeing the homeless in tents all over the city.
Well, you started to see tents and you didn't see them at all for
decades. And then all of a sudden I started seeing tents.
Now, don't get me wrong, there is no doubt that homelessness is a big problem in Los Angeles right now. But Rogan just is sharing what he's personally witnessed in parts of town, making it sound like the entire city is like that when there's no evidence.
All right, I can't.
The term third
guy. He's one of those. Actually. No one. That's kind of funny.
This is for Trump, you big, fat, orange, nasty, smelling fat bitch. Why you gotta start World War III with your trifling, dirty, white, racist ass, big, fat bitch, Oompa Loompa body ass bitch? I'm coming up to the White House and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Mr. Cuomo.
She looks like
in a time when
I just need to go know what's going on in the world. I guess I might just have to go to Twitter. So let's do one of these numbers. Let me go to my boy Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes.
With Iran, because he has our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
That's hilarious. I mean, yeah, that was a little fucked up.
No more wars for Israel, not even one. We're cutting you off, and you know what? You're lucky we don't go to war versus you because of all the problems that you cause us. Maybe we should, but you know what? We're done with the sympathy. We're done with you. Americans are done.
Who the fuck is this guy? Whoa. Dude, I was saying this earlier. I think California is going to turn around. Lane Gang. So is he an AI guy? Dude, if this guy wins, that'd be fucking nuts. Dude. People are not ready for what the fuck is coming. People are tired of this progressive bullshit being pushed down their throats. This is awesome. Look at that. I mean, dude, there's a, oh my goodness, there's a wave coming that people are not prepared for.
Angeles, as well as many other Southern and Central California counties, and he joins us now. And Bill, good to have you on, sir. You know the law. Democrats claiming that Trump is breaking it by sending the National Guard in without the governor's consent. What's the truth here?
Yeah, I think the governor's just used to some courtesies that were afforded to him in the past where he would be asked first. But the law is clear. The president is the commander in chief. He has the authority to nationalize the military, the National Guard, and use them as he sees necessary as a time like this where literally the city of Los Angeles is burning down. It's being looted. There's rampant violence and crime, and it's out of control. The local law enforcement's been overwhelmed, as admitted by the police chief. I know the CHP was overwhelmed. The sheriffs were overwhelmed. The state of California is not prepared or equipped to handle this rise up of violence.
And talks about the LAPD specifically. I mean, it was so fashionable to scream defund the police for the last several years, and they did do it. And the police force is, I think, entirely too small and unequipped to handle, I think, the size of the population of the city in the first place. I think they have about half as many cops per capita as they do in other major American cities, a city like Chicago.
Which is why these big cities are so progressive, because they need to have a social order that's going to be accepting to the chaos if they can't control the chaos, or they got to have a way to be totalitarian.
I think about half. And you're seeing the consequences of that at this point, aren't we?
Yeah, not only the defunding, which they've totally gutted law enforcement and the jails. They have no capacity in their jails. So all these quote unquote arrests you're seeing, they're not even going to jail. They're being given a ticket. They're site released because they have no room in a jail because they refuse to add space to the jail. But also, who wants to be a police officer in LA? Look at the way police officers get treated by the public, by the elected officials, and they want to lock them up anytime they make a mistake.
Yeah. Wait, what kind of charges? I mean, obviously, there's got to be some federal charges coming here for some of the people involved in this. What's your part in this?
Yeah, no, we're looking closely at filing a lot of federal charges here. Once we identify people, you'll see us filing a lot of charges. We've got Hobbs Act robberies for some of the looting. We've got explosive charges for the Molotov cocktails and the car burnings. We've got assaults on officers. There's a lot of federal charges that we're looking at bringing once we identify the key players.
So there'd be state and federal charges as well, because I know that there are some pretty decent people inside of, I think, the DA's office now. You have Nathan Hochman there. It looks like he's going to file charges. So would it be both sides, both doing it at the same time?
Oh yeah, no, I think we work hand in hand with the DA. The DA is obviously much better than the former DA.
Yeah.
So we will look for egregious cases, and the more egregious ones we'll find. We'll see if there's appropriate charges to take them federally, where we can get serious prison time on them.
Right. And to those out there that look at the Marines, look at the National Guard, and say that this is that Trump's exploiting the situation, it's important to remember that it's only been 5 years. Since we saw the last time that the left found something that they needed to protest over, and those protests lasted several months. And our cities, in New York, I remember driving to work in the morning and seeing what had happened and what had been done. They're trying to nip this in the bud before it turns into another summer of hell in this country. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. We learned a lot from the 2020 summer of quote-unquote love. Yeah. And what we learned is you got to be aggressive and you got to tackle this head on. You can't let it fester and grow into something big. And I think the president made a clear decision once he saw the violence and that the law enforcement needed help. He did not hesitate in sending in the National Guard, and they've been a tremendous asset to us here locally.
Right, and you can't tolerate this nonsense. No. They never will stop. If you show.
All right, let's see what this.
What would you do if you were governor of California in this situation?
Yeah, the cops would be using live ammo, and this riot would be put down immediately.
That's kind of wild, but that would deter people for sure. Oh, fuck.
Kyle Langford, what would you do if you were governor of California in this situation?
Yeah, the cops would be using live ammo, and this riot would be put down immediately. They don't know who runs these. They don't know who runs these streets. They're waving foreign flags, and they think they have a little bit of power because they can throw a firework. Well, I would definitely let them know that I'm in control, not them, and Donald Trump and I would bring the hammer down hard. Yeah.
Kyle.
I just went live. Let's go. Hey, Sarah, what's up?
Hey.
How's it going? What did you think so far of that exciting, exciting?
It's been really fun. There's a lot of Mexicans here, and they're all very angry. That's what I've learned so far. But they're going to be deported.
Dude, there's a big wave coming nobody's anticipating.
Yeah, so true. We got to send everybody back, even the women. Sorry.
Even the women.
Police, they're on their way, gonna take them out. They're throwing fireworks, waving Mexican flags. Not okay. And if I was governor right now, they'd be using live ammo.
This dude is wild.
And this would be put down immediately. Not even a joke. I'd also coordinate with Palmer Luckey too. We'd have some special surprises.
This guy's hilarious. If you guys don't know who Palmer Luckey is, this is who Palmer. This guy's fucking hilarious. This guy's making fucking military weapons. He fucking sold his company for billions of dollars to Facebook, and now he's building like it's Anduril. And he's very pro-American. He's pretty based, actually. He voted for Trump. I mean, that says something. But yeah, see, he is the founder of a defense technology company. This guy is fucking wild. I like it. It's hilarious.
What would you do if you were governor of California in this situation?
Trump and I would bring the hammer down hard.
This guy's a troll. That's hilarious. It makes what he said even funnier earlier.
Yeah, this is police. Even the women.
And they're all very angry. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, so true. You got to send everybody back, even the women.
For your
I'm kind of stuck in here. I think they want me in here, maybe for drama. Who knows? But there's the helicopter flying up above. There's the people in here. Nice. So yeah, everybody, look. You see this American flag pin? You know I'm pro deportations, pro America. Oh, wow.
Yesterday, so that's
So wait, so did they just fire the rubbers indiscriminately?
with phones. I'm not exactly sure. They're skipping them off the ground, which they're supposed to be doing. So I don't know if they're just having bad skips.
Oh, so it gave you a bruise though? Is it about equivalent to a paintball?
I say it's less than a paintball. I see some people getting way worse than I have.
Oh, really?
So one guy who's completely blind side head from all that right now.
Oh, dang.
I actually got
you got a picture of the damage? Oh, whoa! Yikes!
Who are you with?
Watch out! I'm running for governor. I guess you could say I'm a politician.
Oh, really? Hey, let me get your photo then.
Yeah. The best people in government. I'm tired of two-party politics. Yeah, I am. I'm in fourth too. Third in the betting markets. Fourth in the polling. So. Huh? Republican, but I want some Democrats to win too. I do want some Democrats to win. I want the best people in government. I'm tired of two-party politics, you know. So, yeah.
Dude, he was good. He was good.
Huh? I'm 24. Yeah, but I'm not gonna. I know it's not gonna be given to me. That people are gonna fight. Opponents have already spent millions just to try to play catch up to where I'm at. So I'm very confident, and I got a good team and great policies. And
I don't know, man. I don't have to look
just
into
taking
this
it one
guy.
day at a time.
He
I
might
guess.
fucking win.
Yeah. Let me press through.
You got that fucking grim.
Well, what, sir? I am President Spanish. Yeah. Other side. Hey, what's up? I'm in the crowd now. I'm on the other side. Hey, excuse me. I got a question for you. Because wait, is that the El Salvador flag?
I believe, yeah.
El Salvador?
Yeah, El Salvador.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, are you like from El Salvador?
No, sir. I am President Spaniard.
Hey,
Okay,
what the fuck
yeah,
are you doing here?
Spaniard.
What are you doing? What's your mission right now?
Oh, I guess I just want to learn like your guys' perspective, if that makes sense.
You know our perspective.
Well, what is it?
You know our perspective.
Well.
No, because you got that fucking grim grin on your face.
No, I'm just trying to learn, seriously.
You can hit the books.
Don't talk to him.
Well, here's
Get the fuck up out of here.
I'm just
Get the fuck
trying.
out.
Get out of here.
Don't nobody want to fucking talk to you. You're a fucking fed. Get the fuck out.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
a fucking
legitimately
fed.
not.
Fed.
I'm legitimately
Get the fuck
not.
up out of here.
Get the fuck out.
I'm literally not.
Get the fuck up and leave.
I'm just trying to be
Get the fuck
nice.
out if you don't know where you stand. Get the fuck out.
I
You
was.
don't know where you stand, get the fuck out.
I was just trying to hear your guys'
Fuck off. I don't
perspective.
give a fuck.
All right. I was just trying to hear your guys' perspective.
That wasn't that great on his part. He lost playing. Well, I guess you pick and choose your battles, right?
What's up, everyone?
Is not good. Also, this is not a peaceful protest, but something very disturbing is happening in the background that I think you should know about. It's time to deploy Palantir to Los Angeles to deal with the illegals. You know you love to see it. You're lying if you say you wouldn't. This is the grand plan. Okay, it's not an accident that cars are burning on the streets and people are waving foreign flags on the streets. There is something they're trying to manufacture consent for. Remember, when they justified the passing of the Patriot Act over 20 years ago, they told us we needed all this extra power to go after the bad guys, to get rid of the terrorists. But almost immediately, the government started to use that extra power they were given to spy on ordinary Americans, right? How can you be so sure that you will not be deemed an enemy of the state one day? There's absolutely no guarantee that this master database won't be weaponized against you. And to be perfectly honest, history tells us that the likelihood is pretty high.
Yeah. He's right. He's spitting some facts. No.
One second. What about this one? Wow. What do you think of that?
Oh, man.
Set you free. That's what the founding fathers intended with the First Amendment. And that's what's made America the #1 country on planet Earth, because we allow for the battling of ideas in the marketplace. And so that way the best ones can come out on top. And I love it. You know what? Agreements, disagreements, it's great to see it all, because that way we can arrive at the best conclusion. Just like a diamond is formed under pressure. That's how we get the best ideas. And second, my #1 priority always has been and always will be the increased well-being of my neighbors, Californians. I want us to have the absolute best quality of life on planet Earth. And in many ways, we already do. But there are obviously certain issues like taxes, homelessness, cost of living, insurance, the fact that we can't seem to stop these forest fires. There are many issues that California struggles with that we need a fighter and a champion, someone that is going to take on the bureaucracy that cannot be controlled and is going to destroy the system that has been holding us back for decades. And I will do that because I cannot be controlled.
I think that he can be controlled.
No one can claim that. No one has hold over me. I say what the truth is, and you know what? I don't care who it offends, because it's the truth.
Make it known that you are a follower of Jesus Christ in his church. And I promise you will.
$100. Thank you for the big super chat, Kyle Langford. Big shout out. I appreciate you.
Meow sent $11. Kyle.
Is Kamala Harris running for governor? Oh, so it's being speculated.
One day.
What I'm doing right here, right now, dude, is I'm running up and down the state trying to get people activated. Folks, everything is not going to be fine. Your state's burning down. You're getting overtaxed. Crime is out of control. Nobody feels safe. You can't go to Beverly Hills with a watch on. Can't have your car parked on the street. This is insanity. I lived here for 25 years. This is the greatest state in the country. I love this place. I left because they ran me out. I couldn't grow my business here. We had problems with expansion, office space, renting space, running ads. Like, we had 3 people when I was here, maybe 3 to 6.
Yeah.
We had $3 million a year in revenue. It just goes to show you when you get rid of suppression. I was making maybe $300 or $400 grand a year after taxes, and went to Florida. In 12 years, we did $750 million last year. 3 people to 1,500, 260 units to 15,000 units. From one little company to, 9 companies.
Yeah.
It's just easier to do business.
Yeah. Are you running for governor of California one day?
What I'm doing right here, right now, dude, is I'm running up and down the state trying to get people activated. Folks, everything is not going to be fine. Your state's burning down. You're getting overtaxed. Crime is out of control. No.
Okay. I don't think he's running. Maybe, though. Maybe. Let's see if that guy really is Kyle Langford. All right, so his SEO is not great. Where is it? Are these just the other ones and not included? No, he's right here. That's hilarious. Just their women. We need to keep your women. Send the men back. We keep their women. Oh, man.
As well as homosexuality are not only mental illnesses, of which they were classified until the 1970s, but they are also sins. And this is how we need to think of these issues going forward in California if we want to solve them once and for all. Because let's face it, it's not enough to get pressure and public backlash. It's not enough. It's not enough to just pass laws. We need to get back to a place of religious righteousness in California. And you know what? That's why these issues are popping up in the media, is because I'm encouraging people to go to church. I'm bringing up California all the time. I'm shining the spotlight on California so these issues can be solved. And that's why there's a struggle in California, and I love to see it. But we need to take serious steps, serious action. My name's Nick. Out here at the California Democrat Convention. Let me just say, this is way more professional than the Republicans. They've got better merch. They've got more people. They've got a more professional setup. This is literally superior in every single way. So let me tell you, Republicans got to get their act together because the Democrats are coming with fury.
Designed to be a thinking machine. A thinking machine in the sense that it reasons, it plans, it spends a lot of time talking to itself, just like you do. We spend most of our time generating words for our own mind, generating images for our own mind before we produce it. And so the thinking machine is really architecturally what Grace Blackwell was designed to do. It was designed to be one giant GPU. I compared it to GeForce for a good reason. GeForce is one GPU. So is GB200. It is one giant virtual GPU. Now we had to disaggregate it into a whole bunch of components, create a bunch of new networking technology and SerDes technology, incredibly low power, high energy efficiency interconnects to connect all of these chips and systems together into one virtual GPU.
Interesting.
Riots got started in Los Angeles not because ICE was going. So the riots got started in Los Angeles not because ICE was going in and arresting people who came here illegally, but because the fashion district had an investigation going on where they were smuggling and laundering money in from Mexico and Colombia. They did not report over 80 million in goods, and they did not pay over 17 million in taxes. So it's tax evasion. And of course, the Mexican president decided she would put in her 2 cents and say that the Mexican protesters that basically attacked ICE were heroes. So basically, these rioters were just interrupting an investigation, and they've gaslighted this community of high-strung people to believe.
So was there an investigation? Fashion tax evasion. What's happening? Really? Let's see. So this guy was sentenced to 1 year in prison. So she's saying, let me share this. So she's saying basically this right here, which happened on October 30th, 2024, they were found guilty. The riots now happened in July or June 6th, or whenever it was, June, early June, whatever. And it's because they were covering this up. But it's been going on, and somebody's already been in jail for it. See? Tax evasion, 2018, jail. 2023, jail. No, I don't. No. Because see, look, it says, but this has been going on forever. This is not new. I just showed it. It's been going on at least since 2021. Unless there's one that's going on right now. I don't know. But like there's already, I don't have any proof of it. All right, so let's look this up. Where did the riots start in LA? Let's see. All right, so let's see the narrative. Okay, so it did start June 6th. Where is that? Heavy police presence outside of a federal building. Okay. So this was around a federal building. And this is claiming the ICE raids began around June 6, 2025 and sparked significant protests and riots downtown Los Angeles, particularly in the fashion district outside federal buildings. So it seems more likely that the raid started there because there's been a history of misconduct with tax evasions, and also let's not forget this part here, avoiding tariffs. And so let's see. China, the customers in Mexico Central. So probably what was happening in some way is, well, right here and right here, right? Like those are big countries that are coming in. So they probably had suspicion of them hosting illegal immigrants or them working for their companies because they have a history of doing business with them, right? So, and also drug trafficking. So they probably inferred that since there's, drug trafficking, maybe they didn't infer. Maybe there's actual evidence that there are illegal immigrants in these locations. So maybe that could be why this was started, because I'm not quite sure where this is located. Where is it? I gotta keep going forward, huh? No. Let's LA riots map. Okay. Protest begun Friday. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't let me zoom in on this actual map, which is whack. And they're so spread out. So here's the federal building. The protests are so spread out too. Okay. Well, I don't buy this theory. This theory is no good to me. It does not hold up. The theory I tend to align with more is the one that I fucking hate this neighbor's dog. I think we played it on here. I thought it was on here, but the guy who said that Peloton, like I could see that being more of a logical theory than that theory. Yeah, that's true. That's that espresso chick. Gay? I don't know what that means. Oh, took me a second. His spelling. Who is this by? I don't know if that's true. I don't believe that.
Chill out, yeah. Bad man, chill out. Bad man, chill out, yeah. Your pussy fat inna your shot. Are you dealing with the bud? Yeah. Make your compost food and never take a loss, yeah. Like a ball pump up the pussy fast. Clean out the pussy for me fuck it. Girl, you make it cocky brag. Original girl, some of them are dinner card.
And if you hear this on the go to the back, go to the knees, baby, shake it to the max. So the DJ, please.
Yeah, fact.
Protesting that day is shedding new light on what agents were really looking for. 27-year-old Isabel Lopez has been indicted on 4 counts, including obstructing, impeding, resisting.
Austrian artists have a tendency to do that. That's good. Thank you. I want to scoot the chair closer. Clock in a box.
What?
Oh, I just read this thing.
I didn't even bring you water. Sorry.
That's okay.
You can have some water.
It's interesting. Can't read it. This guy seems pretty based. This is an AI dude.
What?
Did you read that?
No.
That's hilarious. I'll read it in a second. Well, that's interesting. Okay, that changes things up. If true. In Atlanta, Georgia.
Hold on. Stop.
What's wrong?
Over there. Hemorrhage. Holy
I thought this is funny because I think Trump
negotiate.
is going
Our president will start a
Israel.
war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely
I don't really care what Sam Harris has to say. He's a sick bastard. Oh, let me see. If I can show you. I thought he talked about it more. This is it. Maybe this is it. Something about not voting for Trump. Like, you'd rather have children burn in a building than vote for Trump. Gun, children, comment. This is it.
The first episode with Sam Harris has ended up getting a ton of backlash and made Sam Harris, it looks like Sam is saying that he wishes, and what the way people are construing it or misconstruing it is that Sam was saying in his conversation with you that he wishes COVID-19 affected kids and killed kids rather than killed older adults. And
Because people would take it more serious. Then he also said something else about that shit. Yeah, I don't know. So who really cares what that guy has to say?
Video, we have FBI collecting video, we are collecting body cam, we're collecting social media, we're collecting everything. And we're going to take our time, we're going to identify people. They think the mask is saving them, it's not saving them. We're going to identify them and we will bring charges. We are, let me just be clear.
We'll try to warn you. I don't know, but it's hilarious. This JD Vance, Trump, and Elon Musk. That's hilarious. Meanwhile, but now, oh. I mean, but what is going on with Trump? Let's see. Is it with Palantir? That happened a couple days ago. Are they going to use Palantir in the LA riots? Let's see. What the fuck? See, that's she's not even far right, but this is who she is. For anybody who doesn't know, that's not her. That's AOC. It's kind of funny that she's the only one coming after Laura Loomer is AOC. This chick. She's calling for the data surveillance company to be used on the riots in LA for the illegal immigrants to track them. Let's see. I don't want to watch a 2-hour thing of that. Not right now. Not right now.
Palantir was founded by Peter Thiel and Alex Karp, and there was a couple founders. Joe Lonsdale's one of them. So two of these guys, Peter Thiel and Joe Lonsdale, they're from the PayPal mafia, from Elon Musk PayPal days.
Was part of that.
Yeah, and so they had a bunch of funding when they started, and they basically at first, I don't know if they explicitly planned it this way, but their first client became the CIA,
I mean, hey, it's a smart business move, I suppose.
At the time, their only client was the CIA, and the CIA has been their client ever since. And so they make AI ultra databasing, like spy software. It's used in combat, in warfare, like it was used in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's being used in Israel and Gaza now. And the goal, theoretically, is to use it to enhance the American warfighter overseas. And they're also deploying it domestically to deport illegal immigrants, and it would never obviously be used on civilians.
Never use it against.
And they're also deploying it domestically to deport illegal immigrants, and it would never.
So is there proof of this? That's what I'm looking for. Or are you just inferring that they're going to do that? Because I didn't see any proof that they're actually doing it. Did you? Autonomous weapons. Autonomous weapons? The AI engineers of defense technology companies defended the need for autonomous weapons on Thursday. The role for AI is not just to get faster decisions, but also to make more accurate decisions. Where we choose to operate, what kinds of workflows. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it is being used. How much of this article can I read? Oh, wow. Okay, so it is happening. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. Wow. All right, so yeah. All right. So Palantir has won a contract to track immigration. Which they won this contract 2 months ago, April 17th. Now, there's talks about it being used in LA for the riots.
Like to get information on the rioters? Or?
Yeah, and imprisonment or deport them. So, there's a theory floating around that the riots were instigated by some provocateurs in order to initiate this. And then you have the confluence of events to muddy the water, which would be the ICE raids taking place June 6th. However, there is validity to the ICE raids taking place totally outside of like this idea, because there's been a lot of tax fraud and tariff evasion from these companies in the fashion district, which is by a federal building, which is a federal building, is where I believe it all happened. So basically, there were people getting prison time from these companies already for tax evasion. And then in October of 30th, 2024, there were 3 stores in the fashion district that were found guilty of money laundering, tax evasion, tariff violation, and getting drug money, basically money laundering for the drugs. So it would be conceivable to me that the ICE raids take place organically, and things began to take place organically. What's more than likely happening is a window of opportunity has occurred. I don't think that they're like master orchestrators the way that we think they are. I think that they're able to seize opportunities and create opportunities for themselves better than most people, because they have so much influence. They know how to do these things. Like if you're a business owner, you have to be able to do those things. And Trump can do those things. If you're in politics, you have to be able to do those things. So let's assume it was all organic and this just happened to fall within the timeline, which is certainly a possibility. And then they took advantage of the moment, and they're seeing what they can do to take advantage of the moment. Because it seems very likely to me like someone like Laura Loomer would be used as like a testing, like an A/B, like a split test kind of. How's that messaging do for the public? Is there too much feedback? Is there too much pushback? Or is it received? And if it's not received, what happens if we still do it anyway? So I think it's probably more so organic, and things have just lined up. Because that makes, like, you don't have to have, because then what do? You have all these moving parts. You're like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to let the Pelletier fucking win a $30 million contract. And then once they win this $30 million contract, 2 months later, we are going to go into this riot in LA because there's so many illegal immigrants in LA. We know there's illegal immigrants in LA. We're going to start riots in LA. And when we start riots in LA, we have these illegal immigrants, and we're going to be able to use that as an excuse to track them because they won a fucking contract for tracking immigration life cycles. Who is it past their stay? It gives us the perfect excuse to use it. Okay, cool narrative. I see why you would like that. But the logistics of that, I think, would be very hard to execute in that kind of way. Not saying that is impossible. It certainly is. I think it's more possible that they have taken it like things can happen synchronistically. Like, for example, I had somebody text me today, hey, look into Palantir. I haven't talked to the guy in a while. He's a former employee, not a great employee. But for some reason, he still texts me. Either way, he was like, hey, you should check this out. And he just sent me a picture of Palantir. I'm like, I don't even know. What are you getting at? And he was just like, just look into it. Believe me. I'm like, okay. I don't. And then I come across this theory on Twitter, I believe, about this. So if you kind of get where I'm going, like, things kind of just happen sometimes. It can be a coincidence of all of this. It could truly be. Because then, like, okay, so now you got to orchestrate, which you could do. Realistically, you could do, and things like this have been done before, where you execute this elaborate plan to make something happen. So it could. I happen to think that they just are potentially testing to see if they can seize the moment with minimal backlash or controllable backlash. They'll have to go back. Except for me, right? That's his wife. She's Indian. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is everybody loves JD Vance. Kids' names. This is a true American. And watch this. I'm wearing, I think it's like Indian attire. I get it. I get it. I get it. He's married an Indian. It's cool. I have nothing against that. Let's see. Let's see something here. Does Donald Trump ever do this? And if he does, let's see. That's not real. That's not real. It's from Stable Diffusion, which is an AI image generator. Let's see. Let's see if JD Vance did that while he was vice president. JD Vance in India. But his family is wearing it. Mr. American Hero. Got a fictophobic sticky note on my desk at school, and it hurt. So while I was walking to my desk in 7th period, I found a blue sticky note on my desk. I figured it was empty, and I like drawing on paper things, so I grabbed it. It was only when I started reading it that it made me go into shock. It basically went along the lines of calling factosexually weird.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. There's a like voice actors, creators probably doesn't feel comfortable. Sort of crying, forbidden fan. I think that this is probably like people who like cartoon porn. Or video game porn, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You should be made fun for that. Sorry, like, it's weird.
ICE is not welcome here.
No hate, no fear. ICE is not welcome here.
No hate, no fear. ICE is
Oh, poor New York City, man. It had a vibe to it. I was just there Thursday. It had a vibe to it, but
not welcome here.
No hate, no fear. ICE is not welcome here.
ICE is no racist. How do I-C-E.
But we were
How do
York
you
City.
spell racist? I-C-E. How do you spell
No,
racist?
I-C-E. See?
No hate. ICE is not welcome here. No hate, no fear. ICE is not welcome here.
No ICE, no KK.
I like Ann Coulter. Speak English. You're in fucking America, man. That's the language we speak. Put your flag down. This is not occupied territory, dog. Not by you. This is claimed land by America. That was in New York City. Yesterday.
Living in the state illegally has been convicted of first-degree sexual assault of a child after pleading no contest. Juan Carlos Rojas Maya is scheduled for sentencing on August 21st. The mother
These are the women allegedly in need of asylum. Yeah, like
the victim was previously convicted of human trafficking of a child, failure to protect a child, and 2 counts of bail jumping. We have chosen not to reveal her identity to protect the victim. According to court documents, state illegally has been convicted of first-degree sexual assault of a child after pleading no contest. Juan Carlos Rojas Maya is scheduled for
and I was 11 years old when I arrived to this country. For many years,
who are we to deprive her home country of such a talented individual? It would be a crime to
the only
keep.
thing I wish was to be normal. I knew that I wasn't. And like many movies, all I wanted to do was drive, go to school, and not hide my status from my peers. That's what DACA gave me. In many ways, it changed my life. Since receiving DACA, I have graduated from one of the top universities in the country, passed state and national legislation, serving the state of Florida as a legislative aide, and citizens of Miami. Heck, I even danced at the Latin Grammys. I really have done it all. And that's why today I stand
I've danced with Latin grandmas. My grandma. What do you mean?
She said Grammys.
Grammys? Oh, can't even understand her.
confused because I have done everything this country has told me
She said
to do.
Grammys?
National legislation, serving the state of Florida as a legislative aide, and citizens of Miami. Heck, I even danced at the Latin Grammys. I really have done it all.
She danced at the Latin Grammys. Okay.
And that's why today I stand confused because I have done everything this country has told me to do. Every paperwork, every appointment, everything they told me not to, I haven't, and everything they told me to do, I've done. For 30.
All right. We fly the American flag in America. A tad embarrassing. Yeah, like, what the fuck? See, that's why Nick Fuentes posted that. Because of this. Ann Coulter's good. I like her writing. Yeah. Whiteness studies. Professor says white people who treat all races equally are dangerous. I agree. I actually agree.
An active participant in this peaceful protest, aka race riots that are going on in Los Angeles. And I know I'm going to get in trouble because talking about it is against the contract I signed, which should have been the first red flag, but I got to tell my side of the story. So my brother's lived in Los Angeles for the past 3 years. Now I was down there for about a week visiting. Well, around night 5 or 6, he told me that he's going to go do something tomorrow and he's going to make some money. So I'm like, well, what do you got to do? I want to make some money too. So he's like, yeah, bro, you can come with me. And I don't know all the details about what we're going to be.
Yeah, people do that though. Like people pay protesters. It's not unheard of. So yeah.
Huh?
I know who you are. You're Taylor Kramer.
Yes, I am.
A lot of what you say are lies.
Okay, well, you like to talk about stop touching me. Yeah, she's hitting me, so that's not very respectful. I'm just right here. I'm allowed to be here. I'm just trying to. Would you like to do an interview?
No.
Huh? Why not? I don't want to. It's okay.
That's against your family.
It's okay, man.
It's full of shit.
Chosen people. We Jewish people are the chosen people. We Jewish people are the chosen people. But just because you're not Jewish doesn't mean you're not dope. Doesn't mean you're not fantastic. Doesn't mean you're not brilliant.
Isn't that
Doesn't
supremacy?
mean you don't have all the rights, capabilities to every single thing that the world offers. You're just not chosen. There's so many other things that you are. You're just not chosen. I don't know why people get so upset because the Jewish people are chosen. We are chosen. Look it up, Google it, read it, Chat GPT it. It's a fact. But it doesn't mean you can't be plenty of other fantastic, great adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, and nouns. You're just not chosen. I'm Israel High. 55 hostages remain in Gaza. 55 hostages remain.
This is so funny. This is the world's smartest man. It is Chris Langland. Rejoice, William, for am I not a chosen one, and am I not doing you the underserved honor of telling you that even though you never got chosen and made it to first base, you can still do fantastic things like enjoy a hot dog in the stands if we give you some money first, and imagine in the privacy of your own tiny mind what it must be like to hit a home run as though you're really a player. Dream on. That's great. I'm not going to read all that. Oh, I'm tired. I think I'm done. Adios. 2.5 hours. Peace out.